Okay, so wanted to welcome everybody to this webinar. We've done a few in the past. They seem to be going pretty decent. We have technical issues from time to time. Today we have some technical issues, but we'll try to hammer through it. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Robert McNamara. I'm the Director of Marketing and Sales for Basic Coatings. And my presenter today is Tim Young. Tim's out of Denver and covers the, I guess, what would you call it, Tim? It's not the Mountain States, I guess you would call it.
Mountain West.
Mountain West for Basic Coatings. And speaking of technical issues, this is one of our technical issues is we can't seem to get his camera working this morning, but that's okay. We'll get through it. So I'm going to start the presentation today. So this is going to be Tim's presentation. He's going to tell me, go ahead, go forward, what have you. And while he's talking, if you guys have questions, there is a question or a chat button on the on your screen. So if you have questions, go ahead and start asking them. I will monitor the questions as Tim is doing his presentation, and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can before we get out of here. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tim Young.
All right, thank you, Robert. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Just so everybody knows, I'm the Regional Account Manager for Basic Coatings. I cover New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, Montana, and Idaho. So today we're going to talk about tinting finish and some guides and application tips for tinting finish and the application. Next slide, Robert. All right. So why tint finish? So the biggest huge plus that we have in the market is, as you all know, is the cost of labor to put down stain. You basically have to apply it with a lamb's wool or with HyperTone, a roller, and then you're paying somebody to wipe the stain off. So what we have is a tremendous advantage for contractors, both commercial and residential, to apply stain in a different manner. It's a very easy application, lowers your labor costs. Everybody likes to save money on labor. The other huge advantage of using tint and finish is the ability to eliminate stain bleed under the tape. When you're doing let's say you've got a floor in a hallway and it has multiple species and you want to mask them off and tape and stain them different colors. You can actually apply the tape, put on your first color, and when you peel that tape back, you're not going to get any bleed through underneath into the other, color that you need for the next species that you're dealing with. Another huge advantage is with the HyperTone stain is it's non-flammable. It's very fast drying, easy cleanup. And then one of the biggest advantages that we have is that if you're doing a different type of species rather than a red oak, white oak, hickory, maple, pine, Douglas fir, as you all know, those are horrible to stain with an oil-based stain because of the blotchiness. When you apply stain with tinting finish, you can eliminate that blotchiness. Next slide, Robert. All right, so application tips. The first thing I wanted to point out to everybody is it is extremely important to abrade the sealer coat prior to applying tinted finish. Basic Coating recommends Lock and Seal, Hydroline, our new raw sealer, as well as commercial catalyzed sealers. So what you're going to want to do is treat the raw wood like you would, normally, according to NWFA guidelines, and then you're going to want to seal it. You're going to allow it to dry, and then you're going to go ahead and sand it or buff it. That's the key. If you want this to go as smooth as possible, that's the number one rule. You can also, once you've gotten that done, then you're going to go into the HyperTone stain as a tint. So we recommend that you do this with ours. We have our Easy Street, Emulsion Pro, Pure Matte, and Street Shoot NXT. Those are the 4 approved finishes that you are that we recommend that you put the HyperTone stain in. The biggest thing from there is you're going to go ahead and mix your HyperTone stain one color at a time or a combination of colors. So if you want a gray, you're going to mix the white with the slate or white with black, and that's going to give you, you know, a nice gray. So the color options are up to you as the contractor. So you can mix, you know, 3 different colors together. Once you've got your mix ready to go, then you're going to add that to the finish, and then you're going to start applying it. What we recommend is a maximum of 10% per gallon or 10% per volume. So in a gallon, we're going to say the maximum is going to be 12.8 ounces in a 128 ounce gallon. You're going to want to stir it well. After you've added it to the finish, you're going to want to stir it. We recommend that you stir it every 5 minutes to maintain consistent application. We don't want that stain dropping to the bottom of the finish. You want to keep that agitated and suspended in the finish. Next slide, please. Okay, application tips 2. Again, we want you to follow all of the NWFA guidelines for acclimation, design, layout, and application of wood floor materials. We kind of like for you guys to restrict the airflow application to help prevent premature drying. That's especially true out in the Mountain West where we have very low humidity levels. We definitely want you to apply the tinted finish in multiple coats to achieve the desired look. It's going to be very difficult when you're only tinting up to 10% to get the floor completely covered and the look that you're looking for with one coat. We typically see 2-coat application is going to get you right where you need to be. The floor is going to come out, look really nice. And you're going to have even color and it's just going to go much more smoothly for you. We recommend that you apply it with a high quality T-bar or a paint pad. I found that both work excellent. If you're doing a small room, a paint pad seems to work much better. If you're going to be doing a large room, the T-bar is the way to go. Apply the tinted finish in a uniform thickness. First coat may appear streaky. Subsequent coats, the tinted finish should appear more uniform in color. What I try and tell people is when the first time they attempt this, try and get the first coat on as even as you can. When you put your second coat on, it's going to tie everything in and you're not going to have any imperfections or streakies or, you know, streaking in the finish. So it works really good. The key is just like anything else, don't watch it dry, put it on, make it as even as you can, and then you're going to tie everything in on the second coat. Next slide, please. All right, so what we definitely want you guys to do is get into the habit of referencing our technical data sheets. We print those. It's got a lot of good tips and tricks and application recommendations in those, so you might want to keep those handy. I'll be happy when I'm with you guys or if we go out on a job site to have those ready to go. The really nice thing is you can go to basiccoatings.com and you can download them and store them on your phone, keep them ready to go at all times. So I just wanted to give everybody some examples of some ratios so that you kind of get an idea of when we talk about, you know, percentages, things like that. You know, if you're going to go 1% by volume, so per gallon, that would be about 1.2 fluid ounces per gallon. And just so everybody knows, HyperTone stain comes in pints as well as gallons. So a pint is 16 fluid ounces, and then a gallon is 128 fluid ounces. So that's the two that we're going to kind of start with. So if you were going to go 1% by volume in a gallon of tint to finish, you're looking at about 1.2 fluid ounces per gallon. By the way, you can get, you know, mixing cups from a variety of different places. You can get them from Home Depot, Lowe's. On the application tip slide 1, I don't know if you remembered, there was a cup on there. You know, that's the easiest way to do this. If you want to go back, Robert. There we go. So on the right-hand corner there, you can see a mixing cup that I just picked up from a Home Depot. It's got ounces in it, so it makes it really easy for you guys to track and keep and maintain the correct amounts. So if you can go back to the other one. So again, 2%, you're looking at 2.56 fluid ounces per gallon or 2.5 ounces. 3%, 3.84 per gallon. 4%, and so on. So once you get that, kind of, in your head, it's pretty easy to figure out from there. Last slide, or the next slide. So everybody, we tried to do some videos on here, and unfortunately we were having some technical difficulties. So the plan is for us, we're going to have everybody's email address. We're going to send those videos out directly to you.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
Let's try it. It can't hurt to try.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens. Hopefully I pull up the right video in the right order.
Okay.
But one is mixing it and applying it with a white, and then the other one is mixing it with a brown type thing. But let's give her a go. Let me try here.
Sounds good, Robert. Okay, so that video was the second one, but that's okay. So that was basically showing you over a tinted finish that had a white, and what we did is we tinted another color and we applied it on top of it with the T-bar.
All right, let me try this other one here.
So as everybody can see on that video, hopefully everybody was able to see it.
Did that come through okay, Tim? Or
it actually did. It worked good. There was no sound, but that's okay. You got we got the gist of what we're trying to do. So in that application, it was just a T-bar. We added white, our HyperTone white to Street Shoe. The key is you want to just put it on. You want to go edge to edge on your T-bar or your pad, and you want to try and get that as even as you possibly can. That's really the only thing you're shooting for when you're applying it. You're not trying to make it smooth. You're not trying to. You just want to make even color application. So that's kind of the, a good indicator is just go edge to edge, pull your finish, get those lines as crisp and clean as you possibly can. Like I said before, typically on the first coat, you might have a little bit of inconsistencies in the way it's applied, but the second, and if need be, the third coats can usually tie those in and eliminate, any inconsistency in color. You want to we'll go to the questions, Robert?
Sure. So you cut out a little bit on me there, so I'm not sure if everybody heard everything, but we'll take care of things. So a couple things was, a lot of these videos we show are on sport floor applications, but what we're doing in the sport floor world, we're also doing in the commercial residential environment. It's just a lot easier for us to do the demos in the sport floor area in our facility as opposed to anywhere else. So let's go through some of these questions that I see have kind of popped up. So one of them is what happens if I go over the 10% ratio of stain to finish?
So the reason why you don't want to go over 10% is because if you start thinning out your finish, you're going to start to lose the finish's ability to do what it needs to, which is protect the floor. When you add more stain to your finish, you're taking something away. So that's why we really don't want you going over the 10%.
Okay. And then you had mentioned something about it's super easy to do it this way, and we want to temper everybody. Tinting finishes and applying finishes is just not for everybody. So you certainly want to do a test in your warehouse or what have you. or at one of these distributors where we do the demos to get familiar with it before you go out and try to tackle a whole job with that. One of the questions that Tim Nathan wants to answer is, does that mean we'll never have to stain a wood floor again? So Tim, I think you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So obviously we're really liking this idea of tinting finishes, and guys are finding value in it. It does not mean it will replace staining raw wood floors for the future. There are going to be color palettes that still benefit a gentleman to put stain on bare wood. We just find that there's so many more scenarios where this tinting of the finish is becoming so popular to create unique tones, to layer colors, things like that. You know, so it does add another level to your skill on your job site work.
Okay, another question is, can I use a roller? Tim Young.
No, you cannot. Unfortunately, the problem when you have a tinted finish, when you apply with the roller, is when the roller is applied and it's putting the finish down on top of the wood, when the roller comes back to the top side, it will drop color and it just doesn't have a consistent look. It's just much harder to put on with a roller than it is with a T-bar or a paint pad. It's just not recommended at this time, and we just really want you guys to put it on with a pad or a T-bar. And I'll be frank with you guys and girls. There's if you were to try and do a small room with a pad, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it works really well. So.
Another question, Tim Nathan, is what happens after the second coat if it's not uniform in color? What do you got to do? What can you do?
Depends on how radical it is. That's why Robert's comment earlier, guys, always test your system in your shop so you understand the application you want to pursue, the color you want to yield. You know, with this system, it does require a lot more intuitive look into how much you want to add. Tim Young recommended that we have a range, not to exceed, but you may want to start out significantly smaller depending on the results your customer is asking you to acquire and achieve. If you go too far, too much, too soon, you may not be able to fix it, and unfortunately, it might require you to sand it back off and start over. So we want you to avoid that. Practice makes perfect. Try it out in a shop on our panel. Make sure you get what you're looking for when your end result is done.
I think it's a good idea too, Tim. You and I talked about that this week. Is when contractors are trying something new, do you really want to go to the most difficult application with the toughest colors over the toughest species in the in the room with the brightest sunlight entering? Let's start with something that it's a bit simpler, so you can kind of get that learning curve. And I think we've seen over the past couple of years that depending on the color, it's just like any other stain. Depending on the color, there's little variances to it. Things that are a little heavier pigmented than other things take a little bit longer to dry and so forth. So it's the same thing with this as well. On the video the video links that we send out later today, we'll also include a small video of a contractor that's doing it in a residential application. It's pretty high-end residential application, but we'll provide that with everybody as well. Another question, do I top coat with a clear finish, or is my top coat the tinted finish?
And yes, so once you have the floor completed with your tinted finish, then the last piece to tie it in is you want to throw one more coat of untinted finish on top as a protective layer. And that's what we recommend. You always want to tie it off with one more coat of finish and then
Okay.
end it at that.
Okay, two more quick questions. How long do I wait before I apply my second coat of tinted finish?
So we recommend that you wait, according to our technical data sheet, which is, 2 to 4 hours. And so, it just depends on, if you're in Houston, you're going to want probably wait a lot longer in the dead of summer where you're in a much more humid market. If you're in a much more arid climate, you probably do it within the recommended time. 2 to 4 hours, depending on how warm it is, but that's typically what we like for you guys to do.
And then last question is, can I screen between coats of tinted finish?
Yes, you can, but we generally don't want you to do that. We'd rather you use, screen your sealer or put a coat of untinted finish on it before you screen, just because we don't want you ripping open the color in the finish. But that's just what our recommendation is. It has been done, but like I said, we'd rather you sand something without tin in it than doing it with the tin in it.
Okay. With that, I'm going to do a cheap promotion here. Hold on, if I can figure it out here. There we go. So I want to thank everybody for attending. Like I said, before the end of the day, we will send out the links for the videos so you can see it. There's actually 4 videos in this link, so feel free to pop on all 4 of them. And just want to remind everybody, we have a Floor of the Year contest. It's Floor of the Month, Floor of the Year contest. Basically, there's a lot of contractors that are on Instagram. So post your project with the products that you used and just on Instagram and hashtag it WoodFloorProud. And if you win the monthly contest, you get $250 worth of basic coatings products for free. And then once you win the monthly contest, you're automatically entered into the Floor of the Year contest. Floor of the Year contest prizes for the sport contractor is this tape machine and telegraphing bar. And on the residential commercial side, it's the, what the heck do we call it here? It's the, I can never remember the name of these things. A Festool TS55 cut track saw with a 55-inch guide rail. Those things are pretty hot out in the marketplace. So with that, I will thank everybody for your time. Tim, great jobs today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your local basic coating regional manager, and we'll get you what you need to get up and running on using HyperTone stain, either as a stain or as a tint. And with that, appreciate everybody's time. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.